Welcome to day 2 of my Alaska cruise trip. Day 2 is known as a day at sea, which just means that they're on their way to your first port destination, but it's a little bit far. And so what they do is they spend the day traveling and they get you close to the port so that the next day in the morning they're right there. They can drop anchor at the port, let people off the ship for however many hours, and then everybody has to come back after they go and visit the port city. The problem with the day 2 of being at sea, at least for me, is I have been trying to get my cell phone connection provided through my service, which is AT&T, and I'm on the international plan. But on these days at sea, we really don't have much cell coverage, and I lose connectivity while we are at days at sea. And so I can't stream, I can't look anybody up, I can't really read the news, I can't do anything. And so I'm just hanging out on the boat. And, being the person that I am, I'm not gonna be very flamboyant and, start being overtly open to trying to find anyone to play with or whatever. So I'm just sort of giving everybody the eye. I'm sizing up the passengers. Like I'd mentioned earlier on a previous cruise, for some reason, it was full of Spanish people and a lot of Spanish families. There were a lot of, for lack of a better way to describe them, Spanish daddies out there with, mustaches and beards. Beards are big with the Spanish, I guess. I don't know why. But a lot of salt and pepper, older Spanish men, a lot of really good eye candy, in my opinion, on the prior cruise. This cruise, I was not so lucky in the eye candy department. There were a lot of Indian Sikh, Sikh, the Indian Sikhs, with the turbans and all that stuff. And it was weird seeing them on the ship. I've never seen that many Indian Sikhs on a ship before at once. And I think they had some kind of social event going, and they were setting up displays in one of the meeting rooms and all that kind of stuff. So I think that it just happened that they killed two birds with one stone, and they had their meeting and they went on the cruise at the same time. And looking around all the visitors, there were also, they seemed Mediterranean. A few people were speaking Spanish. Some of them looked Italian, but I think they might have been Romanian because of the way they spoke. They sort of, a little bit more of slurring of the words as opposed to a cleaner diction that I associate with Italians. And frankly, the way their culture, the way that they were, conducting themselves and standing in line for food and all that stuff, just like the basic social habits, are very different than the more reserved social habits and manners that you can find among Americans. They're not as, Americans aren't as pushy in line to be in line for food and that kind of stuff. And also, on day 1, if you recall, I had mentioned the dysentery stuff, so dysentery shit, so to speak. And so the buffets were covered in saran wrap, and the workers had to serve you the food like it was a high school cafeteria, and you were going through the line ordering your food and give them your tray. They'll put the food on there, whatever you point to, and then you go out and find a table. That was not the best. And fortunately, on the cruise, each passenger is assigned a dining option to dine in one of the restaurants. And the restaurant we had was not bad, in my opinion. I think the first night, oh, no, it was bad. Oh my God. It was some steak, some kind of a steak, but they put their own sauce on it. And considering that a lot of the crew is either like some type of Asian descent, they really don't know how to season an American steak, like with steak sauce or whatever kind of sauces one might put on a steak. And that was not a very good dinner for me. So here I am, don't have anybody to chat with on the phone, can't chat because my internet connection sucks. Getting served crappy food. It was just an all around not a very good day, just to be honest about it. And so we're cruising along at port, and the next port of stop is a small city called Ketchikan, Ketchikan, and that is where the story will continue on the next post. Until then, ciao.